Well, relative to the heightened expectations from KPIT Tech every time, you would argue that maybe Q3 was a mixed quarter. Margins contracted around 100 basis points. Some bit of it was mentioned by the management at the end of Q2. But Mr. Kishor Patil joins in to talk about the third quarter and the 9 months gone by, and how does he possibly see 2026 as a year. Mr. Patil, thanks so much for joining in. Did the quarter turn out to be, in some parameters, a bit lower than what you would have penciled in when you ended Q2 or H1?
Let me tell you, I think in terms of financial performance, if I have to say, very a shade lower than what we think. But some of the few things. One is the wage code, wage code impact significant. The second thing is this quarter we also had the increments to not 100 throughout the company, but to a sizable portion of the company. And with all this, little bit, it's a shade lower than what we would have liked. But at the same time, on many strategic things, I think we did pretty well. That's what I would say.
And I'm going to come to the strategics, but I just want to get the numbers out of the way. So some bit of a large portion of the wage hike would have happened. Would some bit of the impact also be felt in Q4, or will that get absorbed?
There will be something in Q4, but it will get absorbed anyway. But there will be something in Q4.
But not as impactful as Q3 is my understanding of what you're trying to say. One more question. And this is now being seen for a clutch of companies. There's nothing wrong or right with it. I'm just asking that in Q3 for KPIT as well, the organic growth was flattish to marginally lower, right? And it was Caresoft, Endream, integration, inorganic moves done recent past, adding to the revenues. Could that be the texture of growth going ahead for most companies, product or services, for the near term, and for KPIT in particular?
Absolutely. Yeah, sorry. So absolutely, we always say that the organic growth is the key growth driver for us. And inorganic, any transaction we do to accelerate the organic growth, not the other way. So I think while this quarter, it may look like that, but that's not how we see it. We actually are very excited about the opportunities, specifically 2-3 areas. The AI-infused solutioning approach, and I talked about it also last time. But as we are progressing on that, I think next year we'll see some good traction from that perspective. Also, the whole solution approach around certain domains, I think that will drive a lot of organic growth. Also, if you look at this quarter, some of the announcement, if you look at it, we have also entered into micro-mobility sector and formed a partnership with HMC Hive, Hero Group company. I think that on the AI side, we have built a good partnership with Microsoft and one of the CRM companies. So I think there is a lot to come in future. It's a very, very what I would say, a dynamic environment, but we are moving fast as well. So I do believe that organic growth is the most important for us, and that will drive the growth.
Got it. Viewers, remember, from in Q2, they mentioned about this. It's from services to solutions, with AI being the key lever. Now, Mr. Patil, at the start of this conversation, you mentioned that yes, one should focus on the numbers, but there are some very exciting strategic things that have happened. One of them was done at the end of Q2. You mentioned 2 or 3 announcements in Q3, including HMCI and others. What is the standout piece that you might want to start off with, which might have a longer-term implication, sir?
I think all this, because we believe the micro-mobility segment will grow fast. So that's why I think this partnership is very important for us. I do believe the AI solutions we have built are one of the best in the industry, because they are specific to mobility. They are highly domain intensive. So I think that will drive growth. Though it won't be like a hockey stick, but it will drive growth in future. And of course, the couple of production programs in which we could really deploy AI, that was some of the very important part during this quarter. So these were some of the highlights. And off-highway commercial, this is where we are seeing a growth. And I think, see, in that sense, if I would say organic, inorganic, uh, we acquired Caresoft, and the whole idea was to really build on off-highway commercial. So in some sense, it's very hard to figure it out later. But yeah, I think to some extent. So off-highway commercial also we see as a growth driver.
Got it. The other piece is, sir, the macro tone, which you had highlighted at the end of Q2, was looking like improving. A lot of uncertainty was gone. But just seems like to the layman who's not in business but just observing news, that the uncertainty is not going anywhere. So are you still of that opinion that the business uncertainty, a lot of it is behind you, or is it difficult to call that out because it's a moving piece?
I would say it is not behind us, but people are dealing with it better and better. People have understood that it is a part of life. So little bit they are dealing with it. It will have an impact, and you know that any day could be different. So nobody can really guarantee that. But I believe there are areas, and there are people they are sure about taking certain decisions in certain areas. So it's not like it's a standstill as it was in the early part of the year.
Got it. Now, Mr. Patil, it would be wrong to let this question end without one key question, because I think when I look at what you've done over the course of, even in Q2, right, Europe was so strong for you. You mentioned in the call too that European OEMs are actually diversifying, maybe becoming more globalized, if you will. Now we have this Europe-India FTA as well, and auto is a big part of that piece. Does this, in some sense, up the business case or the opportunity size for you, or that was there irrespective of this FTA getting signed?
So the first thing I would say, it will be very good for both the countries. I think I just made one keynote about Indo-German Business Council last month, 2 or 3 months back, and I basically talked about this because Germany market is small. They have it's not a growth market. So doing strategically with India, that improves their potential. They will come to India. India becomes more strategic. So I'm sure the growth for them will go up. Growth business for us will go up. The second thing I had mentioned that Indian ecosystem will build very strongly, and that's exactly what happened in China. And I do believe that Indian tier ones or manufacturing, that will go up, and the exports will increase. And they will also require for a certain kind of a help in because they are naturally not aware of the complexity of this business. So I think I see it will be a positive overall, we believe, but as you know, it is still 9 to 12 months before it actually starts acting on.
Got it. But for you, the piece was anyways working. Does it strengthen that per se, or it would have happened independent because tech doesn't quite know boundaries, if you will?
Yeah, that is true, but it will grow because if it is beneficial to my client, it will be beneficial to me.
Got it, sir. My final question, because I'm done with the time that I have with you, but I'm going to ask one final question. You kind of grew at a massive pace from FY21 to 25. We know that the pace at some point of time moderates. Maybe FY26 is that year wherein we've seen the first glimpses of that moderation relative to what you've done in FY21 to 25. Is this a blip, or should one get used to slightly more normalized growth rates from KPI? I will say that there are multiple strategic pivots we are taking. As you know, the KPIT is known for changing the business consistently, and you will hear about it in some time. But we do believe that we'll build it, and actually it takes a little bit of a time to get the pivot into action. But we are very, very excited about medium-term, high-quality, higher profitability growth.